Once upon a time, in a land of gold and glory, there lived a king whose power had no limits. He ruled vast lands, commanded mighty armies, and his name echoed through every corner of the world. People bowed at his feet. Ministers obeyed his every word. And the world saw him as a symbol of success, the man who had it all. But deep within his golden palace, behind all the noise and celebrations, the king was restless. Each night, he sat alone in his chamber, surrounded by jewels, but haunted by silence. He had conquered kingdoms, but not himself. Every victory only made him hungrier for the next. Every praise inflated his pride a little more. And yet, in that endless rise, something sacred was slipping away: his peace. One night, unable to sleep, the king looked into the mirror and asked himself, "If I have everything a man could desire, why do I still feel so empty?" The next morning, a messenger arrived. Outside the city gates, a wandering monk had appeared, dressed in simple robes, carrying nothing but a wooden bowl. They said he had wisdom, older than time itself. Curious, the king ordered him to be brought to the palace. And when the monk entered, his presence filled the hall with a strange stillness. He bowed slightly and said nothing. The king broke the silence. "Holy man, I have conquered empires, built temples, fed the poor, yet peace escapes me. Tell me, how can I be truly happy?" The monk smiled. His eyes were calm, like a quiet river, untouched by wind. He said, "If you wish for eternal peace, then give me everything you own." The court gasped. The king's pride flared. "Everything? You must be mad. I am the ruler of this land." But the monk replied softly, "Then you are not the ruler. You are ruled by your possessions." The words struck like thunder. The king stared, speechless. The monk continued, "When a man clings to gold, he becomes poorer than the one who has nothing. When he clings to power, he becomes weaker than the one who bows. The cage is not made of iron, Your Majesty. It's made of ego." Before the king could respond, the monk turned to leave and said, "When you lose everything you call mine, only then will you find yourself." And just like that, he disappeared into the crowd outside the palace gates. Days passed, but the monk's words burned inside the king's mind like fire that refused to die. He stopped attending court meetings. He no longer found joy in music or feasts. One evening, he removed his royal robe, dressed as a common man, and quietly left his palace under the cover of night. For the first time in his life, no one bowed to him. No one cared who he was. He walked among farmers, potters, and beggars. He felt the roughness of the earth under his bare feet. He smelled sweat, smoke, and life, raw, unfiltered, real. Days turned into weeks. He worked for food, slept under trees, shared laughter with strangers. He saw how little people had, yet how freely they smiled. One day, he met an old farmer by the riverbank. The farmer was eating a piece of dry bread and offered half to the king. The king asked, "You have so little. Why do you share it?" The farmer smiled, "Because peace grows when you give, not when you keep." Those words melted the last bit of pride left in him. That night, under the open sky, the king wept, not out of sorrow, but release. He finally felt free. He had lost everything the world valued and gained everything the soul needs. Months later, a group of soldiers found him and begged him to return. The palace had grown silent, the court in disarray. The people wanted their king back. He returned, not on a chariot, not in gold, but on foot. And when he entered the palace, he saw it differently. The marble floors that once felt cold now seem soft beneath his steps. The throne that once made him proud now looks small. He called his ministers and said, "I left as a king, and I return as a man." He reigned again, but not as before. He ruled with humility. He forgave easily. He listened more than he spoke. And when he looked at his crown, he remembered it was only metal, nothing more. Under his new rule, the kingdom flourished like never before. But the king no longer measured success by gold or victory, only by peace. Years later, when he grew old, a young prince asked him, "Father, what changed you?" The king smiled and said, "I once thought I ruled the world until I learned to rule myself." He placed his crown on the table and whispered, "Power fades, wealth disappears, but humility makes a man eternal."